Fight or Flight is basically Bullet Train on a plane, except for it's nowhere near as good as Bullet Train. It's more like a dollar store version of it. Welcome to Bite Size Bunny. My name's Tony, and today we are going to be talking about Fight or Flight. In this film, we follow Josh Hartnett's character, who is sent on a mission to find his target, who is known as the Ghost, and bring them into custody. He doesn't know anything about who his target is supposed to be or what they look like. All he knows is that they are going to be on a specific flight trying to leave their latest crime scene. Josh Hartnett gets on the plane and is trying to figure out who the Ghost is, but quickly figures out during the beginning of the flight that he is on a plane full of contract killers who have all received a $10 million bounty to kill the Ghost. So now Josh Hartnett's character has to keep the Ghost and himself alive for as long as the plane is up in the air. Starting out with the positives. Josh Hartnett is great. Despite the rest of this film feeling like a tonal nightmare, he does a really good job at making his character consistently feel natural in this world. The rest of the characters are forgettable, the performances aren't bad, but it does feel like the characters are all out of place and really struggling to mesh with the movie as well as Josh Hartnett did. There's some great action sequences that are a lot of fun. It starts out relatively grounded, but quickly devolves into being over the top and almost cartoonish at times with its violence. You definitely are going to need to leave logic at the door and stretch your disbelief quite a bit for this one. But outside of the consistent usage of shaky cam, there is some fun fights and kills in here. And I did get some laughs out of this movie. They may have been for the wrong reasons, but hey, I still got some giggles. That's about it for the positives though, because the rest of this movie does fall apart and it can get pretty rough at times. The script is so bad, the story is painfully generic, and it can sometimes get nonsensical and not in a fun way. You are going to get hit with every possible tropey story beat you can imagine, and it all feels very slapped together like it's only there to just try and get you to the next action sequence, which would be fine if it wasn't for there being so much time spent on this soulless story. It's got some serious pacing issues. Anytime there isn't an action sequence going on screen, it is a total chore to get through, especially whenever the film is transitioning to anything that's taking place outside of the plane. That is where the movie is at its worst. The melodrama is so forced and the characters feel like they were written by AI. They are all so two-dimensional, it's not even funny. You really don't care about any of them, and despite Josh Hartnett doing a really solid job in his role, you don't really care about his character either. The dialogue can be pretty atrocious at times. The way some of these characters talk feel like you're reading a comment section. And while the action is fun, I do think it's important to point out that you are going to be waiting a while for that first fight, and then after you get that first fight, you're going to be waiting a while again for the second action sequence. This movie is only an hour and a half, and it still feels way too long. It's also probably worth noting that there are some pretty rough special effects scattered throughout this movie. There's plenty of really bad CGI blood in this movie that'll make it feel like you're watching a Sci-Fi Channel original at times, not to mention some of the sound effects will completely break the immersion of the movie and pull you out of it. You can easily tell there's some royalty-free stock sound effects slipped in here that stick out like a sore thumb, especially for some of the smacks and hits in this. Overall, outside of some fun action sequences, this is a pretty rough one to get through. I'm going to be giving Fight or Flight a 4.5 out of 10. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe, and all that YouTube stuff. And what's your favorite Josh Hartnett performance? I'd love to know.